Hello everyone, Peter the Free back with another review. This is a deck that was on Kickstarter not too long ago called the Bicycle 100 Years War, which is inspired by an actual 100 Years War. It is a war that I had to check out on Wikipedia because I wasn't familiar with it. And see if I recall correctly, it was something, a battle that went on for over 100 years, from around the year 1330 to about the year 1450 something, if I recall correctly. So that's over 100 years. And it's between, I guess, two families. One that I guess ruled the United Kingdom, and another one that was associated with France. And they just butted heads, fought in many battles for over 100 years. I don't know who won, or if there was any winners really. I don't think there's any winners in war. But this was inspired by that. Beautifully done boxes with gold and silver embossed foil, or foil embossing I should say. Unfortunately, the silver on white is a little bit hard to see on in this light. Maybe if I brighten it up a little bit, if I can. Is that better? That might be a little bit better. The front of the box says Bicycle on top. It says down here 100 Years War. Probably a little bit hard to read, so I'll show you up close. And you see this cool artwork that they used for the spade tip that has some French symbolism right here with fleur de lis. There is some monarchy and British symbolism with the crown, and just really cool. And this one's the same thing except silver, of course, which, like I said, is a little bit harder to see. And it gets worse. Well, not really, but you'll see the cards. It says Made in USA, United States Playing Card Company on one side. It says distributed by Spade and Company on the other side. Yes, they had to put 4 A's in Spade to be more unique. At the top says 100 Years War. And in the bottom, you got the Spade and Company logo, which is 4 A's, and some USB-C information and trademark stuff, and says it was designed by Hawanok, or however you pronounce that. I apologize for butchering names. The back, you see the back design of the card, which is got lots of details, looks pretty cool. And I'm just noticing may have a one-way element to it. I'll double check that when we get to the cards. No seals on the flap. Bicycle trademark stuff as required. And a couple of swords, and this is embossed. All of this silver foil is embossed. And I believe there's some other embossing on there, but it's all beautifully done. Fantastic. So inside you do get a Spade and Company ad card with the logo on there, and says spadeandcompany.com on the bottom. Just remember it's 4 A's in the word Spade. And then you see the back design, which does indeed have a one-way back design element, because you got a crown here on this side with the fleur de lis, which also happen to be in all 4 corners. And then if you flip it over, you get a crown with the British monarchy type symbol. So it is a one-way back design, which again, it's kind of subtle, but it is a one-way design. You also get a double backer. The borders are a bit thinner, as you see on the black deck. They're a little bit off-centered, at least on the ad card and Joker, or double backer. Jokers, you get 2. They say Joker in the 2 corners. You see a soldier, warrior, going to select his weapon of choice from that wall. The other one is identical, same thing. Except that there is a slightly different color on their silver armor, and there is some silver metallic inks on that as well, by the way. The silver is silver metallic inks, but there is a slight color difference that I can see from one to the other. It's more evident in the other deck, which we'll get to in a minute. I don't know why I'm speaking really slow. The Ace of Spades, completely custom, pretty cool. Ace of Spades and Ace of Clubs have some French symbolism to them, including these fleur-de-lises and a Statue of Liberty right there. While Hearts and Diamonds have some British and monarchy symbolism, like the lion with a crown. They all have custom pips. And you'll notice that Hearts and Diamonds have silver metallic pips on them for this deck. Court cards, all completely custom. They don't have any pips outside the index, which is okay. Sometimes it feels a little bit like it's missing something. All the court cards, by the way, have crowns in the center, except for the jacks, which just have a different symbol on there. And they all have that, 1300, 1400 style look to them. As you can see by the clothing, the hair styles, facial hair, weapons. It really looks like something out of Romeo and Juliet almost, if you will. Or like it could have come out of King Arthur type stories. Number cards, kind of standard. Some nice custom pips and indexes, but yet fairly standard, which is fine. As I've probably mentioned in other reviews, and I'll mention again, not a particularly bigger fan of silver colors on faces of cards or on backs of cards, just because it makes it a little harder to read in certain lights and lighting situations. As you can see, it is kind of hard to see. But outside of that, good bicycle stock and air cushion finish. Let's look at the other deck very quickly, hopefully. Again, you get the same thing on the flap as the last one. You get inside and see a lot of things are similar. You get the ad card, except that it's got gold metallic inks on it. Here's your back design. It's got black borders, and as you can see, pretty off-centered, at least in the ad card and the double backer. The back design is the same, except it's black and gold, and again off-centered there. Jokers, same thing, except that they got gold color on them, and this one especially, you'll see that it's got more gold on it. Nice metallic inks, I like that. Aces, same thing, but again more gold colors in there. And the Hearts and Diamonds this time have gold metallic inks. And then same with the court cards. Same thing, both gold metallic inks. That, they make the court cards and the cards themselves a lot better. They pop a lot more than the silver color with the blacks and grays that they used. These ones you can definitely see a lot better. They pop a lot more. I like it a lot better, personally speaking. You may like the other one more, but I think this one's better. And again, number cards, same thing for the spades and the clubs. And for the Hearts and Diamonds, except that they're in this gold metallic ink. And again, air cushion finish, bicycle stock. Handle's good, looks good. Again, the only minor criticism is that because they tried to get thinner borders, it wasn't centered properly, thanks USB-C. So that's the only minor thing that you might encounter with trying to make thin borders with a USB-C deck, is they might not be even. There's a good chance of that. And outside of that, a little bit disappointed that they went with black borders. I can understand wanting to have the contrast, white and black and everything, but it does cause some durability issues because it'll tip and turn white. Outside of that, my only other thing that I could have suggested as an improvement is that I would have made one deck as a kind of French deck and one as a British deck. So I would have had, instead of having a one-way back design, I would have had this on one back design for the French deck, and this one on the back design for the British deck, instead of making it a one-way deck, for one. And two, I would have probably switched the artwork on the aces so that one deck, ace of spades, ace of clubs, represent the French, and then on the other one they represent the Brits. Or had separate versions of the aces for each deck, or even have different faces for each deck, so that they would have British inspired faces, or court cards and aces in one deck, and then French inspired in the other deck. Would have made it a little bit better, I think, if it wasn't a one-way back design for the deck, and if one deck kind of represented one and the other represented the other. But still, really nicely done, and I look forward to seeing what they produce next. That's what I've got. You can probably get this on collectibleplayingcards.com. Use the code VJose to get 10% off. If not, yet, it might be available later on. And if not, go to the website. That's what I got. I'll see you next time.